It's a great benefit to be happy in a completely uncontrived way. And if that's new to you, well, just enjoy it. And whatever you're meant to be involved in the world, you'll know. There's no rush. Everything is a seamless expanse, including animals and stones and the flowers and birds and the fishes and the planets and stars and the space debris and everything else. It's an expanse of equalness. So, I have a couple of dogs, Rudy Kasudi and Baby Kasudi. I just talked to one of them on the phones. Now, here's the thing about Rudy Kasudi. That's the one I talked to. Rudy Kasudi has never taken himself to be a dog or never had any gender issues. He doesn't identify himself by its genitalia or anything like that. He's never taken himself to be anything that is made up of all these parts. And he's never taken himself to be a description, a dog. So Rudy has never taken himself to be a dog or something that is named a Rudy Kasudi. That's all my thing. And he's never concerned about anything like, am I going to have this great beach house to live in next month? Will they be able to pay the rent? Or am I going to get some kibble today? Or I wish they'd upgrade my kibble. Or why don't they buy a new car? Or you see, none of these things are going on. Everything happens spontaneously. And if he barks, well, he's not thinking, oh, I hope I didn't offend. Is this going to make me a better dog if I don't bark as much? Or you see, none of this stuff is ever going on. Just like there's really none of that going on for us. It's just that we have trained ourselves to believe that this is our body rather than forever stainless space being our body. And we've trained ourselves to believe that our mind is located in here in something called the brain, rather than our mind being the forever stainless knower of infinite space. And we've trained ourselves to believe that our speech comes about because our vocal cords wobble back and forth, and that the sounds they make are expressions of something needed for this one, instead of knowing that our speech is the resonance of forever stainless awareness. Let's all just get together and really gain familiarity with the essence of our being, and then who knows what we'll know. Because we don't know anything now. We've gotten ourselves in a big mess. What is ensured is benefit. So we know this from the very beginning. When we first taste our true nature, the essence of our being, that's found just in simply relaxing, immediately we understand the beneficial nature of our true nature. Immediately we do. We relax, and immediately it's a benefit. So from the very beginning of resting in awareness, we can see that benefit is inseparable from awareness. At first, we experience that as self-benefit. But the more we rest in awareness, the more the floodgates of benefit just open. It isn't any longer about our self-benefit. When we liberate ourselves, when we liberate our own mind, inseparable from that is the desire to liberate others. In other words, to tell everyone else about what we found that is so much benefit for ourselves. So who knows what we can know? individually or as a species. From stainless knowing, it's ensured that we will know. That in fact we already do know. Anyone who gets acquainted with the fundamental nature of their own mind lives in a truly ordinary, extraordinary way. So, there's no way to really hypothesize about it. Just gain it directly through your own experience. The more those two are inseparable, awareness and the points of view, there just isn't any separation anymore, and it happens naturally and without any doing or thinking about it. So something like non-recognition of awareness or stress or feeling unrelaxed is non-different from feeling relaxed and without anxiety. Every description, no matter what it is, and every word in the dictionary and all the words that aren't in the dictionary as well, the ultimate meaning of all of them is primordial purity. That's it. Complete rest. So don't be bothered by words. Don't be bothered by descriptions. That's it right there. Relax in awareness, and what is found is that the stainless knower has never been caught anywhere. So stainless knowing doesn't get trapped in individual objects of knowledge, whether it's building airplanes or anything else, whether it's good and evil or anything else. Do you see what I'm saying? So beyond good and evil, beyond all kinds of descriptions whatsoever, is stainless knowing that is the origin of all those pure phenomena, no matter what they are. And right now, humankind is at a very critical juncture, even though stainless space has never been caught up in history or anything else. We, as human beings, can exercise our birthright to live as this flawless knowledge of everything as it is, to provide great benefit to ourselves and others, that is beyond good and evil, beyond cause and effect, beyond time and place. So all these compounded points of view that govern all of our thinking and doing now completely fall apart. And we move beyond that to a new level of being, so to speak. But it, in fact, isn't anything new. It's always already been present. We've been exercising a certain choice we have in a certain way to look at everything based on point of view. So we could say what we've been doing as perceivers is point of viewing. We look at all the different points of view, and then we decide about our circumstances according to compounding those points of view and the different sets of points of view. When we just relax, then we let go of all of those points of view, no matter what they are. We no longer need all the fixed reference points in place in order to be and to have a sense of being. And in that, in other words, in not adopting any of those points of view or any compounding of many of those points of view, we are able to see things in a new way. And we're able to provide a knowingness about everything that now exists in only a few. The things that we attempt to do, for example, negotiate peace between governments or find cures for diseases or end famine, try to control the population. All these things we've been attempting to resolve, environmental degradation. We've been attempting to resolve all of these issues within life by applying different points of view, by saying, well, okay, it's bad to have war and it's good to have peace. Or it's bad to have hungry people and we've got to feed everybody. It's bad to destroy the planet we live on, so we've got to run around now and tidy up the mess we've made. Whatever it is, and so we use all the points of view that are at our disposal to try to remedy these things. And all the while, really in a quite diluted way, we're saying, oh, because we're doing all these things, it must be getting better. But if we just stop and look, we find that it isn't getting better, it's getting worse. But yet, if we examine human beings who have lived throughout time, we find that there have always been those who have lived beyond causality, who have lived beyond time and place, who can heal disease or sickness without any medicine, just with stainless knowing, who can end war, end famine, without putting together any compounded circumstances. So this we know it already exists within human beings. And when each of us is able to know that about ourselves, then we unleash this power for everyone. So, its expression here might be one thing, but in someone who's been designing airplanes, it might be something else. Who knows? Maybe the one designing airplanes, pretty soon there'd be a way for everyone to just fly without any airplanes. This has been known to happen too. So, why not tap into that about us that we know is completely free of all constraints whatsoever? It's just like talking about who we are in such an ordinary way. Before now, that's always had all kinds of constraints, but there have never really been any constraints. Anywhere, not just in the field of knowing who we are, so to speak. So, we can write about and talk about these things endlessly, but really that's very meaningless to do so, to just write about it and talk about it. What we need to do is just gain familiarity with it, the direct perception of our own being. Then if we want to talk about it, we can talk about it from there rather than talking about it as an object that a subject needs to get.